What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Jad here from Puma, Plow, playing some more Farming Simulator 22. We're back on Elm Creek by, Giants. Achievement hunting. Let's get to it. All right, so we are back on Elm Creek. It has been a minute. We are in the middle of a corn harvest that I'm not going to continue with the Dawn combines, but we are going to use the good old Spirit of 76 here. You betcha. You betcha. So the Dawn combines are actually going to get returned because I don't really want to pay like leasing cost on these bad boys. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to pay this. This was basically, and I don't regret it, but it was for Leonard that night is what it was for. Cause he was like, the Dawn. I was like, you betcha. Let's go. So it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Took a mortar to the head 5 years ago. Big R. No way. Holy cow, dude. That's crazy. Played farm sim. Somebody gave you a sales pitch to buy it on PC. Well, whoever that person is a smart person. Okay? Whoever gave you a sales pitch to play farm sim on a PC is a smart person, because the game is a whole lot better on PC. There's more mods. There's so much more to it. But yeah. Downloaded Tranquil Waters. Tranquil Waters is awesome. I'm looking forward to playing that. I think I'm gonna play that. I don't know if I'll play that tomorrow or I'll probably play this tomorrow and play Tranquil Waters on Saturday. I have to update Tranquil Waters. I did see there was an update for that that Stevie put out. So I do have to update that before I play it again, and that's on a server. It's not that it's difficult to update, it just takes more time, that's all. And I just haven't been on the computer much to have the time to do it. So there is that. Okay, so we're gonna use 6-meter corn heads, because that's what it shows goes on this combine. Is there's a 6-meter corn head. Okay, we've got 2 of them, 2 combines, I think. Maybe we have 3 actually. I'm not even really sure, honestly. Not totally sure, but that's all right. Loving it with that big river. Yeah, we played Tranquil Water Saturday. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time, and it's always fun starting out a new map and, like, going and running random contracts and all that good stuff. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It was fun. It was a good time. Oh, so fun story for you guys. We talk about Tony a lot, which is our buddy Zach. I know him in real life. We live in the same town. Our dads have known each other forever. Last night, Dad and I, Dad, my aunt and I, we left the fireworks and we took a different, like, we sat at our usual spot. We've been going there for 3 years now, that same spot. And we parked pretty much in the same spot, but we decided when we left, we're like, oh, let's go kind of a different way, right? And there was tons of traffic. There's tons of people. That firework display draws in a lot of people. And we're like, well, we'll go kind of this way, It was different. And so we're driving, and I'm like, man, this area just looks familiar to me. I've never been on this street before, and I'm like, that garage over there looks really familiar. And I said, I think that's where Zach was hanging out last year for 4th of July. Like, our buddy Tony, right? I really wanted to do that contract, actually, and I didn't. I really did, though. I really wanted to do that contract, but I chose not to. So we're driving up this alley. I say driving. We're in bumper-to-bumper traffic for, like, ever. And I'm like, I kind of think that's where Zach was hanging out last year for the 4th. Because he sent Snapchats while he was there, right? And so sure enough, I get a phone call. Or no, I looked on Snap Maps first. And I was like, oh, it said Zach was in this parking lot like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I was like, I bet that is the place, but he must have left. I get a phone call from Zach. And he goes, hey, I was like, what's up? And he goes, do you see me waving? I was like, what? And he goes, I'm over here to your left. I'm waving at you. He was still there. It was just dark. I couldn't see him. The funny part was him and his buddies were shooting mortars, and like the debris from the mortar was landing and hitting the truck. And my dad, because we had him on speaker in the truck, dad just goes, you're going to be hearing from my lawyer. Obviously dad was joking, but it was hilarious that, like, I was like, I think that's where Zach hangs out. And then sure enough, that's where Zach was. It was rather amusing to me anyway. I thought it was funny. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted to do that potato contract though on 35. I kind of did. That would have been a fun contract to do, actually. Probably would have taken, you know, forever in 3 days, but yeah. Yeah, right, Sean? I don't think it did any damage or anything. I think by the time it came down, it was cool enough that it didn't like melt the paint or anything, so. But it was just, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny that, I was like, I think that's where Zach hangs out, and sure enough, he was there. It was amusing. It made me laugh anyway. But yeah, the traffic last night in our town was absolutely insane. We got in the truck, and I always plug my phone in. So we get like the Google Maps on the screen in the truck, you know? And I plug it in, and like instantly every road around us is just red on the map. And I was like, huh. That's kind of funny, you know. What am I looking for here? This. There we go. Lands. That's fine. But yeah, I get in, plug in my phone, and every single road around us is red. And I'm like, yeah, this is. Oh, that's not the field I want, though, chat. That's not the field I want. Away. Gotta not be in a field to do what I want to do here. Ambush Mom, what's going on? How you doing today? Welcome on in. This is what I want to do right here. There we go. It's been forever, chat. Don't come for me. I haven't played Farm Sim in a minute. I actually haven't played since Saturday, y'all. Which is kind of a long time for me. Just saying. But yeah, welcome in, y'all. Hopefully everybody's having a great Wednesday. I know it's weird for me to be here. This is not a new schedule or anything like that. Just a one-off today. What are a couple... So I actually... Coach, what's going on? I actually wouldn't recommend any mods for your first playthrough. I would recommend that you learn the game without any mods. But if you do want mods and you want like some PC mods that are fun, I would definitely recommend GPS. GPS is one of the best mods like of all time. GPS is life, as we like to say around here, and we love us some GPS. Coach, same to you, by the way. I hope everything's well. All good here, just ready to get back to streaming. I missed it, you know what I mean? Missed it. And it's chilly here today. Speeding up. What? Oh, if I just say, oh, I got you. Okay. See, I was gonna use the modded harvesters that Stevie puts in there, but I think our biggest problem with the potatoes is like we would not have had enough tippers to haul away the tipper or the potatoes from that contract. I think that would have been our problem. I am on Elm Creek, Coach. I'm back on my achievement hunting map today. Yes. Okay, so you've played... Okay, I gotcha. So GPS is one of the #1 mods then that you can't have on console. That is great on PC. And a mod called Auto Drive, which you're about to see here, is another fantastic mod. Field 32. 32. There you go. Auto drive is fantastic mod. Basically, it's really, really smart hired workers, which is, you know, allegedly a thing, right? They're smart enough, okay? They're pretty good, actually. Auto drive is great. Love me some auto drive. Love me some auto drive. Go. I think we're going to set up 3 for now. That should maybe be enough. I don't know. I don't know actually how many we're going to need for those. 32. But definitely GPS. GPS will change your life. If you want to run like all your field work and stuff, it's yes. You betcha. Need the dumb smart workers. Now, auto drive is really good, actually. As long as you have a really good, I want to get rid of that. There you go. As long as you have a good like path setup, config file, even if you go with the auto drive guys config file, as long as your road network's in good shape and you know you're not doing anything like crazy with it, auto drive's awesome. Auto drive is really cool, actually. So a lot smarter workers than the in-game ones. Although remember, auto drive is not field work. Auto drive is, you know, point A to point B, basically, kind of stuff. So, an ambush bomb only in the 60s, by the way. Excuse me? It doesn't even get that cold here at night. Like, oh, I forgot to put them on sharp corners. Oops. Must be on round or something. Oh, well. It is what it is. For the premium edition, I mean, get whatever you what your little heart desires, you know. Well, that doesn't work right for me. That's right. I gotta disable my controls to fix that speed sync mod, and I don't feel like doing that. Whatever you want. Basically, so the only difference between the different editions from like the base farm sim to the different editions is they come with DLCs or they don't come with DLCs. So like the Platinum Edition would come with the Platinum Edition expansion, which is the logging map and stuff. So, good afternoon. Stevie would have many. Yeah, that's true. I don't have all of Stevie's mods. It's so many. So our mods are pretty limited these days, what we actually run, to be honest with you. Pretty chill on our mods. Dude. Sean, I melted yesterday, okay? Like, oh man. An American truck, nice. Very nice. Yeah, yesterday at special. Okay, so for those of you that saw my Instagram, you know I got stuck in the road ditch out by the highway yesterday, right? With the lawnmower. Not happy at all about it, but you know, mistakes happen, and like I knew better, and I wasn't even gonna drive through it. I was just gonna like nose up to it. I was just gonna nose up to it and then back up, and when I went to back up, I spun out, and that was it. I was down. Done. Tires were full of mud. I was done, right? And, which, by the way, if Pepper shows up, I gotta give Pepper my 2 cents, because he replied to that, sent me a DM, basically, replied to it, and just said, you can't park there. Yeah. I was like, bro, really? You're gonna do me like that? Really? Oh man. All of Stevie's mods, 3.9 gigs. Yeah, I actually downloaded them a while ago just to check them out, but I don't currently have them. Or you know what? They're probably still on my PC somewhere. Ambush bomb pumpkins are planted. Replants have happened. 2 rounds of replants have happened. A really unfortunate event occurred Saturday into Sunday. My dad was at the farm on Saturday. Typical Saturday thing he does every Saturday. He works till 1 o'clock, then he gets off work and goes to the farm. So he was down there with my brother, and we had a kind of a severe thunderstorm roll through on Saturday. And so it stopped my dad from working on the pumpkins too much. Like, he went out there just for a few minutes, and then it started raining, and it was severe. So he obviously wasn't going to play out in the rain because, you know, thunder and lightning and stuff, you know. So he said there were a few bugs on Saturday, but it wasn't bad. Well, we roll up down there Sunday at, like, I don't know, 11 o'clock or something. And there were plants that you couldn't see the plant anymore due to all the bugs that were on them. Okay, the bugs were horrendous. We get the cucumber beetle, I think is what you call it, is our main bug that eats all of our pumpkins. And yeah, so we ended up, because there was a threat of rain, and you know, if you spray with like a liquid spray, of course any rain you get, that spray's gone. So we ended up using 7 dust. So, like, you know, literally it's a powder you put on your plant, and it'll take some rain before it like completely disappears, right? And so we ended up putting 7 dust on all the pumpkins, and we did get some rain Sunday. And so we went back down Monday, and we had to dust it a little bit more. But like, there's some plants where they literally ate the center of the plant, and the plant's done. So Dad and I walked the whole pumpkin patch yesterday right before we left the farm. We replanted, I don't even know how many it was. It was a fair bit. But went ahead and replanted for the second time. And it's unfortunate. So hopefully we knocked a bunch, because like the ground around the plants, you can't really see ground right now. There's just all dead bugs, which is crazy, but that's good. Our you know, our 7 dust is working. Dad was talking about going down tonight after work and spraying fungicide on the pumpkins again, which we've already sprayed 1 round of fungicide, but he's talking about doing the 2nd round, which actually is the 1st round for like half the pumpkins, because you have to wait till they're a certain size. But anyway, spraying fungicide and then putting more dust on them to keep the bugs at bay. But there is a threat of rain tonight too, so we'll see. Right now, we really just need it to kind of dry out a little bit here. We've actually been getting enough rain that, like, it's kind of wet in the old pumpkin patch right now. We could kind of use a little dry time, because pumpkins, they like water. They just don't like to be wet. They don't like to have wet feet. Same thing with strawberries too. Y'all have never like grown strawberries. They like water, but they don't like to have wet feet. So just, you know, fun fact of the day for you. You're welcome, chat. You're welcome. I know that all of you needed to know that. You betcha. But so yes, the pumpkins are planted and growing like crazy. It's just the bug damage is so it's so real. So real. You agree with the strawberry? Yep. We used to grow a fair bit of strawberries at our farm. Yeah, we had a decent amount. I wouldn't say it was like a crazy amount, but we had a decent amount. Grow them in Louisiana. There you go. Yep. We used to grow a fair few, and then we had irrigation in them because, you know, it's dry here a lot, or sometimes it's dry here. And oh, something came in, a coyote or something, and just dug up all of our rows, man. Just went crazy one day. Oh, yeah. The nice name Mazda, what's up? How are you? Why is that auto drive guy going that way? Oh, because you have no other way to go. Because you're not attached to anything. Oh, man. Little sneeze. Sorry, chat. I know you didn't hear it, but still. All right. So this is one thing I don't... And he's changed this, the auto drive guy. Some of his older courses like this kind of just... There's things that don't make sense. And this is one of them. But again, he has changed. He has changed a few things since this Elm Creek config. Because if you think about it, the Elm Creek config's pretty old. Because, you know, Elm Creek is, you know, an old map. So, yeah. You're the 95 Nissan. You're all about cars, aren't ya? Aren't ya? Did you get a different car so you had to change your name? Is that what it was? Is that what it is? Every time you change your car, you gotta change your Twitch name? Yes! So I know somebody in real life who changes cars almost as often as you should change your underwear. Okay? Just saying. I know somebody, a good friend of mine I grew up with, we'll put it that way. And, man, always changing cars. And, like, I don't know how they can do it. They don't make money at it, that's for sure. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Kind of crazy, if you ask me. But hey, more power to them. You know, if that's what they enjoy is buying and selling cars, then hey. Good for them. Or something, right? Good for them. Oh. You don't have them, you just like them. I got you. 10-4. 10-4. I gotcha. And I saw some interesting cars last night. So we went down to our downtown of our town, right? To watch fireworks. And kind of paint the scene without like painting the scene too much. We were sitting on a sidewalk actually of a building. A large building, that's all I'm gonna say about the building. And there's quite a hill in front of where we were sitting, down grass hill. And then at the bottom of the hill there's a, yeah, definitely happy late 4th, you betcha. Down at the bottom of the hill is a pretty busy road, especially during the firework, like, or right before fireworks and after fireworks. So in a sense we were just kind of chilling, like people watching in a way, you know. Our crop destruction, okay, it is turned on. All right, I was like, wait a minute, is that turned on or not? So we're kind of overlooking this like pretty busy road, right? So it's kind of just like, hey, let's sit for an hour and a half and people watch, basically is what it became. Because we, you know, to get our spot, which is a pretty good spot that we end up watching fireworks from, yeah, you got to get there early, you know. Fireworks are a little after 9 o'clock, and we got there at 7. Oh, I want to say like 7:40 or so. We got in the area down there, somewhere around there, and basically just, you know, we take our portable chairs. I would say they're camping chairs, whatever. We don't camp, but you know, you take your portable chair, and we did actually take like a insulated grocery bag. You know what I'm talking about, chat? Like a reusable insulated grocery bag. We put some ice in there and a couple bottles of water, so we had cold beverage, which was nice. And then yeah, we didn't have to park too far away. The normal place we park is under construction right now, so that was kind of sad, but ended up having to not park too far away. But there was just interesting vehicles, you know. You see anything from like a Ford Expedition that's raised up on like 35-inch tires or something, and at underglow, all the way to, you know, golf carts cruising around with headlights and taillights and side-by-sides, and, you know, a dude had a bicycle with a gas engine on it. That was pretty sick, actually. It's like, that's the way to get around in all this like traffic, you know. A bicycle with a little gas engine on there. I was like, this is brilliant. Because he could jump on a sidewalk, or he could, you know, whatever. I was like, this dude's got it figured out, you know. Just saying. Dad and I were talking. We're like, here's the strat, right? You get you like golf carts or side-by-sides, right? And as long as you're a licensed driver, like you can drive them on the road here. I guess as long as you have like mirrors and headlights, taillights, that kind of stuff, blinkers, you know. I'm not sure of exactly all the laws, but during the 4th of July like that, kind of nobody cares. You just got to do whatever you want. You know, cops just wave at you, basically. But I was like, you get to some side-by-sides, and you just kind of circle the area, you know, and you wait till about 3 minutes before the fireworks. And then you just pull in a parking lot, which is kind of across a little ways from where they actually launched the fireworks. You just pull in the parking lot, park across the end of cars, because who cares? Park in the aisle, who cares? Throw out some chairs, take a seat, watch fireworks. As soon as they're done, throw your chairs back to side by side and take off before anybody can say anything to you. That's the strat. I told him for next year, we need a bunch of golf carts so we can just cruise around down there. So actually the map command's a lie. This is Elm Creek. Regular, old school, vanilla, OEM Elm Creek. Oh God, I was not looking. I am on this is my achievement hunting map, and part of my achievement hunting is just to, you know, earn money. Which we're doing okay on, actually. Is that loan? Yeah, it's loan. Never mind. I'm doing terrible at making money. Oh, goodness. But I'm harvesting corn because I wanted to harvest corn, so that's why I'm harvesting corn right now. You betcha. Go betcha, bud. And for the record, it is hot here again today, chat. It is hot, y'all. Hot, hot, hot. Not happy about it, but, you know, I can't really control the weather, unfortunately. If I could. Man. Could you imagine? Could you imagine actually having the ability to control the weather? It's just like, what kind of mood are you in today? Do you want, like, it to be hot and sunny, or you want it to, like, be cloudy, you know? Raise your hand if you suck at making money. You know what what I am good at? Oh, Carson's on TeamSpeak. Carson. Carson? Maybe he's not going to talk to me.
What?
Hello?
Hello.
You know what I am good at?
What?
Getting a zero-turn lawnmower stuck in a road ditch.
Did you see what I said to you in it?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get a response. I don't know if you
I was angry, okay? Well, no, because, okay, here's the worst part. Here's the worst part of getting stuck in the road ditch. Like, I get stuck. Which Dad was, okay, so Dad was actually on the other zero turn. And he had a pump sprayer between his legs, and he was spraying weeds on the way out the lane, right? I mowed him, and then he was going to spray a few weeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I jump off the lawnmower right away thinking like, hey, or no, I didn't even jump off. I called him right away, and of course he doesn't answer because he doesn't hear his phone.
Yeah. Oops.
So I finally get his, like, he moseys out the lane because, you know, I'm just standing at the end of the lane with no lawnmower. You know, obviously something's wrong here, right? So he moseys out the lane, and I said, hey, I'm like, really, I'm stuck. Like, we're going to need, like, the side-by-side at least with the winch on it, right? If not, like, the tractor.
Yeah.
And so he goes, all right, and he turns around and he moseys back up to the farm. It's a mile. That lawnmower doesn't go that fast. So I'm just, like, standing in the road ditch next, like, just looking at my lawnmower, just being grumpy about it, right?
You had plenty of time to make videos about it.
I did. Well, so one of the first cars that pulls up, and this truck stopped, and I didn't recognize the truck at first. It was one of the neighbors at the farm. And I was like, of course. I don't care if, like, people on the internet know I got stuck. But one of the neighbors saw me stuck in the road ditch. I was embarrassed. And it was like him and his wife, and they were really nice. And they're like, you know, you need help or you need anything? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then, like, a minute later, these two motorcycles were riding. And this one dude, the guy on the first motorcycle was wearing, like, red, white, and blue overalls with no shirt on, of course.
Awesome.
And then the second dude wasn't wearing a shirt. And he was like, he had, like, man boobs, okay? Like, he should have been wearing a shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he was going to have some awkward tan lines from his man boobs, you know? But anyway, they pull in the end of the lane and jump off. And they're like, man, we'll come help you. We'll push. I'm like, no, this thing's really stuck. You guys don't understand. But it was very kind of them to stop and, like, you know, offer their assistance, you know?
Yeah.
Just saying. Is most of this map empty? Big Oz, this is Elm Creek, like the stock vanilla Elm Creek from you know, Giants. Sean, we might have to do something like that, yeah. We might have to. We might have to, my guy. No, so yeah, this is just vanilla Elm Creek.
I'll help you there, Sean.
Oh, you got it.
Use create ad.
Oh, I gotcha. But yeah, so you know, getting stuck in the road ditch is one thing. Was posting it on the internet for everybody to see is one thing. But having the neighbor guy pull up, you know, it actually
wait for the quad track to pull up. Like, oh yeah,
it was Zach's family. Actually, it was one of Zach's cousins, but not one that farms. Actually, the dude's son drove by first and slowed down to like 10 miles an hour and then just drove past me.
Kept going.
Yeah. Which I've never actually talked to him or anything, but I know who he is, you know. Yeah. And then when he drove by, like I had a lengthy conversation with the guy this spring. Like he came over to the farm and Dad and I talked to him for like an hour and a half. So definitely he knew who I was and I knew who he was. So awful swell of him to stop. You what?
I tell you I changed stuff in Stream Elements.
No.
The other night.
Well, you said something about a hype train something, and that's all I know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We just talked about Rust the other day. Come on now.
True.
That was so much fun.
So last night, so you know how we play PJ 21?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's for sale for $60 on Steam.
$60.
23's on sale for 20 bucks.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, like their summer.
Black Cat's here. Hi, Black Cat. Thanks for the bits.
Their summer stuff's like kicked in. So me, Leonard, and Bear were playing 2K23 last night.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Bear was having a great time.
Plugger, what's going on? How are you?
Not at all.
Oh, was he struggle busting?
Oh, he was struggling.
That's funny.
Every time someone came in, they were like, "What are you guys doing?" Bear would just go, "Well, those two are playing golf. I'm just here acting like I'm playing." Black Cat was playing some like I'm more like, I don't even know. It looked like Rust, but it was like different.
Was it called Scum?
Maybe.
Okay, I know that's like a Rust-ish game.
All I know was there's snakes and stuff that phase through walls, and I'm like, nope.
Nope. You've seen the video of the snake that fell out of the ceiling fan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. The worst part is somebody sent me that video. I was like, hey, you need to watch this. And I was like, nope. Actually, I saw it on TikTok first from Justin.
Yeah. I think that's who I saw it from too.
Did you see his 4th of July video?
Yes.
Where his wife's like, don't spend too much money on fireworks. He's like, here, take my wallet, take my money, take my credit card, take my watch. Here's the keys to my truck. Like, no, that's a little...
He does have a nice truck, though.
A little excessive, but yeah.
Justin's got a nice truck.
Hearing Bear struggle was funny. Wow, Trent. Wow. All I know is I got to sit at well, we could see there was a major accident-ish last night, right? We could see the flashing lights from that, and then while we were there, we were just like, man, there's a lot of sirens going like north of town. Yeah, there was like a decent sized fire, which conveniently, okay, this where this fire was at yesterday, Carson.
Mm-hmm.
There's a firework tent about 100 feet away.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure that the people from the firework tent are going to be responsible for the fire.
Why?
I haven't seen that emote in a minute. Because, well, Dad said the other night that they were launching fireworks exactly where this fire was last night. And they just seem like, I don't know, like we drove past it after the fireworks last night, and like all the firework tents in our town last night were empty already, like closed down, empty. Normally they like, you know, wrap up today. But everything was like cleaned out last night already. It was kind of weird. But I don't know if that's because like, you know, today's not a weekend, work day.
Yeah.
So they just said, you know, forget it. And packed up last night after they were like busy. I don't know. And our town was kind of quiet last night too, as far as fireworks were.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
It was
like,
weird.
There was some here for like 30 minutes, and then that was about it.
Tony wasn't actually anywhere near where that fire was, Trent. Tony was back in town. That fire was kind of on the outskirts of town a little bit. But we did see Tony, or he saw us last night. I didn't see him. But that was our truck when he's like, Johnny?
I called Tony yesterday, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you
call
call
him and he didn't answer because his phone was inside and he was outside. I'm like, yeah, okay. I called him. We had like a 30-minute conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, you know, it's a lot easier to talk to you through TeamSpeak than over the phone. He goes, well, and then you just kind of.
He was here Saturday. Oh.
He's like, you should call more often just to kind of like catch up every once in a while. I was like, or you could just come to TeamSpeak like you used to.
He was here. He was here Saturday.
I know. I was in here too.
Yeah. Your neighbor in Ohio had a near a professional. Oh wow. So like I said earlier, we were at my sister's on Tuesday.
Oh, I got one for you.
Okay.
So one of my neighbors, instead of doing their fireworks in the road, they went to hole 7 fairway.
Oh no.
They were doing like fountains. No boxes. No fire ever started, but I was just like,
I'm sure the golf course is happy about that.
it could care less.
Well, that is not like a great golf course.
It's not that great.
No.
I was like, worst comes to worst, they burn down the golf course.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really green when it grows back.
Right. Yeah, we were at my sister's on Monday, which Carson's aware because we were snapping while I was at my sister's. And don't play that audio. And her neighborhood was popping off, man. I mean, it was crazy, like the amount of fireworks in her neighborhood. And you know, Carson, you probably know where my sister lives compared to where I live, right?
I don't know, but I can just tell based off the videos.
It's not that far away. Okay, it's maybe 3 miles, 4 miles at most, right?
Oh.
It's not far. But like her neighborhood's popping off. We leave her neighborhood, which it's a big neighborhood, don't get me wrong. We leave her neighborhood and then it's just like nothing. Like it was pretty chill here Monday. Like Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night was the busy night here. Although it just seemed like there weren't as many fireworks in general around here this year. Why is there emergency lights outside my house right now? I can just see like red and blue lights on my wall over here. What is going on?
You do not have your camera up?
Oh, I do, but I don't have it on like anything I can see. Hang on. I have scanner on, but there's a fire truck and ambulance across the street from me right now. What the heck?
10-8.
Hang on.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so apparently the scanner's not on where I can hear it, huh? Okay, I can just see like... I'm gonna send you a video, Carson. Hang on, chat. Sorry. This is just very distracting right now. I guess it's the... You know the drunk lady across the street?
Yeah.
I think she might be back.
Oh, good.
They're getting the gurney out. That's all I know. Wait, just got mine to run.
Yeah.
Do what?
Partied too hard last night.
I thought she was in rehab, so.
Well,
last I heard, she was like in a rehab or something. Here, this is what I can see. You'll understand why. It confused me. All right, there you go. All right, back to auger wagon driving. Sorry, chat. Oh, man. All right. Sean, there was a lady across the street. She's an ex-girlfriend or something of the guy that lives across the street, but the guy's not even, his truck's not even in the driveway. Where's he at? Although I saw him, thought I saw him walking around, but I don't know. Anyway, it's like an ex of his or something. I don't know the whole story, but she was very intoxicated a couple times, and actually the police removed her from the house across the street from me a couple times, and like there's a fire truck and ambulance over there right now, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Dave, what's up? How are you? It was good to talk to Dave the other day, even though it was kind of brief and very explosive and stuff, you know? How's it going? How did I set up what to do what? If you're talking about the combines, they're on course play. Combines are on course play. Dude, that light must be really bright to be shining in my house like that, Carson. No? Hello? Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Dude. The course play route. So it's on what's called lands. I can show you here in a minute when we go to the next field. I got to set up that. I can show you how to do it. It was fun, Dave, wasn't it? Oh, I was a little wound up. Just a little. But it was a good time, right? It was a very, very, very good time. Holy cow. Very good time. You betcha. So a couple of us may have played some Rust in like God mode the other night, Monday night. And it was a ton of fun. As COD mode Rust, man, that's great. I'm not gonna lie, that was awesome. Yeah, that was really cool. You rather see yours do this than the up and down? Yes. And especially when you have multiple combines, up and down's not really the strategy. So yeah, the lands are a lot better. You betcha. Lands are a lot better. And I always whenever I think of lands, I always think of Leonard, because this is how he taught us how to harvest, basically, in multiplayer. And it does make sense. It makes a ton of sense. So when we're in multiplayer, this is how we tend to harvest, is lands as well. I didn't know the name for it. I knew about it. I just didn't know the name until Leonard taught me the ways of lands. So yeah. Right, but like I said, I can definitely show you on the next field. We got to go to we'll go somewhere bigger, so probably go one of these two, the bigger ones. Next. Yeah, I'm on. Oh, buddy, sorry. Excuse me, pardon me.
Oops, sorry.
Hi, Crumpet. Did you see that video I sent you?
Yeah.
That light must be hella bright on that fire truck. That's all I know.
Or they backed into your driveway.
No, they're not. I can see it on the back wall of the garage over there to my left. The harvest lands, dude. I mean, it makes sense, yeah. Yeah.
Is it fairly dark outside?
It's cloudy. I guess it is a little dark. There's rain like out west of me right now a little bit. And south.
Just got a weather alert that it's about to rain here too, which I kind of doubt it. Oh, it actually might.
Is that person? Who is that? That's that person. That's the drunk lady. They're carting her out on the gurney right now. Dang. I didn't know she was back. I thought she was still in rehab. I guess not.
Was that Wisconsin and Illinois? Europe.
Best for production. Yeah. Augers always facing over open ground. You betcha. You betcha. Which truck is that? Oh, that's the fire truck. Okay.
Probably the city one.
It is, but I was seeing what number was on the side.
Oh.
I'll just say the second. It's 50. You know, you probably know the first two.
Yeah.
Right, Sean. Crazy drunk lady escapes Missouri rehab.
I was up across the street from very popular Twitch.
Oh, nah, easy. Calm down. I want to shock about dog. The firefighters look very amused to be like here.
They're like, you interrupted our lunch.
They're like, we get back in the air conditioning now? Dude, last night with that fire that was going on.
Yeah.
Like, they were on scene for like 10 minutes and they're like, we need the rehab truck.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's actually right just because it's been so hot or not, but my phone says it's 93 and like there's a decent breeze going outside.
Yeah.
But it feels a lot colder than that.
Oh, really?
It probably is like 83, not 93. But it feels so nice out because of it.
Oh, dang. I'm surprised that PD didn't respond to this call unless they're parked somewhere I can't see on this camera. Oh, lights are off on the fire truck. That's good. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing across the street here. Apparently, like, our neighbor guy told Dad that she's the nicest lady whenever she's sober. But she turns into a monster whenever she's been drinking. And apparently she can't put the bottle down, so it's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. All right, come on. Gotta love the card harvest. This is like my favorite way to play farm sim right here. 2 combines, harvesting corn. I'm running auger wagon. Got auto. No, not like that. No. Black cat next to the bits. Auto drive running tippers, you know, to the bin. Which the bin's gonna be full eventually. So we're gonna have to do something there. I don't know. Haul it to a train probably. But yeah. My favorite way to play farm sim. You betcha. You betcha. Righty, let's go. Actually, where's that other tipper? I wonder if that bin's full already. Bin's totally gonna fill up today, though. They just take forever to empty. That's all that's going on here. Okay. Oh, and I changed this up, by the way, so now they drive in the homestead and they kind of loop back so they can empty on the correct side for that trailer. Which is nice. All right, the fire truck has left the scene, by the way. Ambulance is still chilling over there, but fire truck is left. But see, what I don't get is like every time either the cops or EMS shows up, almost all the time for this lady, the guy that owns the house is never there. So it's like, I don't know. It's a very confusing situation to me. Very weird. But it is what it is. I just don't think PD was on scene this time. You would think due to call history they would want to dispatch PD to this. But I don't know. Well, last night there was a call for something. Like in town. And Fire and EMS was like, you know, this person's not violent for now. And they're like, PD, like we asked PD to respond, but they don't have any officers.
What?
Well, they were all directing traffic. It was right after the fireworks. Dave, you're always welcome. We'll find something for you, dude. You betcha. Oh, man. Grab Gutter, hello. Welcome in. I have not forgotten about your W from the giveaway the other day. I will send that out after today's stream, by the way. I have not forgotten about you. Don't you worry. Have not forgotten. I just haven't been on my computer at all in the past, like, since Saturday, you know? Well, a little bit Monday, but, like, yeah. 3 days is a thing. Yeah, you betcha. But like I said, I just really haven't been around the computer much. And when I have been, I've been, like, chilling because I think yesterday I got too hot. Got a little dehydrated too. It was bad yesterday. Good chance you're not online. 8 p.m. That's fine. It'll be a surprise then when you open your Steam tomorrow. How about that? Because you don't need to be on Steam to, like, receive it, so it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I just haven't really been around the computer since Saturday. Yeah. You betcha.
Did you forget to mention it could take up to 30 business days?
No, it won't take 30 business days. It just takes me one time to remember.
I know how you...
And to be around my PC more than like 5 minutes, you know. Literally last night, I turned on my computers after they were on when, like, we came home. And, oh, so here, by the way, on Courseplay, all you do is scroll down and you select lands instead of up and down. Just slide that over to lands.
That's what that does?
Yeah.
I thought you had to make it say land so it knows to work on the land. Drive.
Carson. And then you can choose how many, like, lands you want it to do. So if you have a really big field and say really big combines, you might bump that up to like 10. But in these smaller fields, 6 is fine. Or you could do less, or doesn't matter, and then generate. We're doing a multi-tool course as well. So it's all good.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Did you actually not know that?
I was confused why my guys weren't going up and down.
For real?
Just kidding. I'm a real farmer and I drive all my implements and tratters.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I have been.
Mr. Guy that, like, leaves a bale wrapper for 16 hours while he goes, like, you know, plays golf. You played golf yesterday, didn't you?
I played, like, real golf and fake golf.
Which one did you have more fun at?
Well, both, because I went with Trevor.
Oh, yeah?
Golfing. And then Leonard and Bear were, yeah.
Good. Okay. Good old Trevor Phillips Industries, you know?
Yes.
These two combines, nice.
There was a duo in front of us, which really annoyed us really bad, because, like,
yeah, they're slow.
me and Trevor were just, like, kind of flying, playing one ball each.
Yeah.
These guys in front had been playing 2 to 3 each.
Oh, wow.
And they were not letting.
All right.
We played the first 2 holes in, like, 10 minutes, and then from there on out, it took us 3 hours to finish the course.
Dang. I would have asked if I could pass them.
No, we got, like, right up next to them. We're like, you guys go wait, and they just would, like, ignore us and drive off. And we're just like,
probably because you guys are young.
Except for we outdrove them.
I'm
like,
just saying.
One time,
yeah.
we hit a ball and it rolled right up behind their cart, and they kind of looked at us and, like, gave it, like, what are you doing?
That's when you just yell 4.
Sorry, I thought I was going right.
Oh, man. But yeah, so setting up lands is literally just that easy. Just change it to lands and pick how many lanes you want it to run. That's it. And then you're good. Oh, yeah. Dang young whippersnappers. Exactly, Dave. Yep.
We went out to eat the other night, and so
Congrats.
like with like before dog left, and
Yeah.
we were with our family, and the waiter looked at me and asked if I wanted the drink menu.
You said yes, sir.
Like no. And then they started laughing.
Wow.
I
My
was
brother, one of my brothers got served when he was like 19. By accident. Okay. Purely by accident. 55. 55. Ooh, ooh. So he was at, it was actually out in Maryland.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it was like, you know, Lord used to live out there, right?
Yeah.
And so they were out to dinner with one of like Lord's fam or friends or something, right? And
Yeah.
the guy ordered a rum and coke, but my one brother heard coke. He didn't hear the rum part.
So he said, "Can I get that?"
And he's like, yeah, same as him. And sure enough, he might have been like 18 at the time. I don't know. He was pretty young. And sure enough, the waitress rolls up and he's like, put a rum and coke in front of my brother. And he took a sip of it and he's like, this doesn't taste right. So they got a hold of him, got like a regular rum or regular coke. Sorry. Yeah, I'll take a rum and coke. Hold the coke.
When it's been a long day.
I'll just take the bottle of rum. Yeah, no. So he got served a rum and coke by accident, but he didn't drink it. Today he might. I don't know if he drinks at all. To be honest, I have no idea. Not sure. Oh man, I'll take a rum and coke. Hold the rum. I mean the coke. Just bring me the bottle and a straw.
Zach's in the viewer list. Zach.
Hi, Zach. Wait, did you just call it a lurker?
I did.
Good job.
I'm an admin. I can do whatever I want.
Wow. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, if Tomcat asked who was flying around in Rust today, it wasn't me.
I saw you guys were both in Rust today.
I went in and I put like the Vanish on.
Oh.
And he kept turning on and off like his music player in there.
You turned it on and off, or he did?
Oh, wait, he turned it on. I was turning it on. I was flying around playing the trumpet, and I was just kind of like shooting the RPG every once in a while, just around him. Yeah, you could just see him kind of looking around. It's kind of funny.
Oh, you're such a troll.
And eventually, I came out of the visible mode, and then you realized who was there.
You're such a troll.
I got the little revolver out, and I kind of was taking like S pops, and he got one too many to the face.
Oh man, that's great. Oh, I forgot to change the corners again, y'all. We're gonna miss in the corners. I keep forgetting to change it off round. Change it to sharp. They back up and actually get it all. Dang it, Bobby. Well. Oh well. It is what it is. Oh man. Now that we have like people here, we can actually run combines. We don't need to auto drive or horseplay. So I've been having issues with my air conditioner since Saturday. Or like Saturday. Remember, it was those of you that were here. I was streaming. It was 90 degrees in this room, and I was not happy about it at all. Yeah, so apparently during that rainstorm, I guess rain got into the control board on it. And every once in a while, it would just randomly turn the temperature up. So Saturday night and Sunday, if I ran my air conditioner, it would just occasionally go beep and go up 1 degree. Until it maxes out at 88. So that was fun. Black Cat, welcome in. What's up?
It's hot out.
Hot out?
Like 90.
Yeah. How's the humidity?
102.
Yeah.
So yes, it's the humidity.
Yeah. Waster, log weekend was good. It was long though. I'm glad to be back, like, able to stream, you know? Whenever my dad gets some time off work, and he'll say it too, he's like, I need to go back to work so I can rest up. You know? Because we spend, like, the whole time at the farm, like, working and stuff, you know? So... Only got one thing stuck in the mud. That was our lawnmower yesterday. Not annoyed at that at all. Trust me. Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah, I got the lawnmower stuck in the mud yesterday. That was fun. Don't recommend. Especially when one of the neighbors drives by immediately, you know?
Yeah. Zero turns in mud aren't recommended.
Well, you see, I knew there was mud there. There was water standing in the road ditch. I knew there was mud. I was just going to nose up to it and then back up. Which is what I did on the other side of the highway earlier. Just nose up, back up. When I went to back up, my back tire spun out and I was done. Oh, man. Need to mow today? Nice.
I've been there, done that.
Yep. Dad didn't give me too much grief because I don't remember if it was this spring or last summer. I don't remember when it was, but he did the same thing in the same spot. So it's a known issue.
Yeah, we've done it over to my aunt's.
Yeah.
It didn't look wet.
And then you just fall in.
Well, it used to be an old shed there.
Ah.
Drove through it, basically, her soil is like really clayey.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I actually blame Zach's family for this because they farm the field that's right next to where I got stuck. That's actually my dad's cousin's field that they farm at, Zach's cousins. And for some reason, years ago, they took their rotary ditcher and just buried it in the highway, like the road ditch. So it's really, really deep and it holds water for no reason. So I'm tempted to find a couple scoops of sand this fall and go dump them in that road ditch and fill that sucker up a little bit so it doesn't hold water anymore because there's no reason for it to hold water. I think they were trying to use it as like get the water off the field, put it in the road ditch kind of thing. Well, they have really good drainage on that field now. They like put a pipe under the highway and everything, so they don't really need to hold water in that spot anymore. So I would be very tempted to fill it in this fall, sometime. But no, Dad did the same thing on a Saturday when he was at the farm by himself. And I thought he had some of the neighbors' phone numbers, but he doesn't. And so he actually had to wait for my brother. Let's see, he called my one brother who was at the other brother's house. So he was like 40 minutes away from the farm.
Oh.
And Dad just sat on the lawnmower the whole time and waited. Because he wasn't going to walk the mile up to the buildings. And then, okay, if you pull the lawnmower out, then what do? You still have two things, you know, and for one person. So, luckily Dad was at the farm and, you know, went and got the side-by-side and pulled me out, no problem. But it's just embarrassing. Like I said, the worst part is that, you know, a neighbor saw me. I don't care about people online. A neighbor saw me. Oh, goodness. You want to start tillage there, Black Cat?
Sure.
What do we have for a plow?
I was going to ask that, and then, like, what tractor necessarily?
Oh, we got the case plows. Any tractor you can find. Whatever you want.
I'll leave this guy over here in case you need him.
That's fine. Hey, Pepper. You can't park there. Pepper replied to my Instagram yesterday and said you can't park there. Thanks, Pepper. I didn't know that. And actually, I parked there quite well. Just so you know. Oh, man.
Oh, I can't use lumberjack. Got it.
You set 4 combines.
Hoyt 2016 just resubscribed for 68 months.
Hoyt, welcome back for 68 months. Do appreciate the resub. How's it going? It made your day, Pepper. Well, that's great because I was standing there cussing at myself for like 20 minutes waiting for Dad to come out with side by side. So I'm glad you got some enjoyment out of my misery, Pepper. Okay. So Waster, it might, like, how big a field do you have? Because it may not want to do. So you have 4 combines, and I'm assuming you're telling them to do 1 headland, correct? It may not want to do that many end rows, headlands on a field. I don't know. I don't typically run 4 combines. That's a lot. I'm more of like a 2 to 3 combine guy. 1 headland. It may just be that it doesn't want to do like 4 passes. For whatever reason. I don't know what the reason would be, but it may just not want to do that. Which I know is weird, but it might be a thing. I don't know. Not sure. Professor had a great response to my Instagram as well. Big field, okay, 16x. I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what the issue would be then. Waster, why it wouldn't want to do that. Professor sent me a message yesterday after my little kerfuffle, and he basically said that if he were my dad, he would have made me walk to go get the side-by-side. Instead of just bringing the side-by-side out like Dad did yesterday. So. Which I would have died yesterday because it was miserable. I mean, it's a mile walk in the full sun, no shade, and there was barely a breeze at the time. So, it would have been brutal. I mean, I would have done it if I had to, but, like, I didn't have to. So why would I, you know? So, yeah. It's not the first time we've gotten a 0-turn stuck down there. It's my first time out at the highway. Dad's gotten stuck actually twice out at the highway, so he wasn't mad or anything. Which that's nice. But boy, the mud that came flying off that thing when I finally got back up on like gravel and like floored it. Oh man. Because that lawnmower goes like 17 miles an hour. And, dude, the mud was flying like 10 or 15 feet in the air. It was great. And I don't know what it is about that mud in that particular spot, and it smells like hog manure. It's awful. It smells so bad.
Stagnant water, probably.
Yeah, organic material just rotten, you know? Oh, smelled terrible though.
I can imagine.
I was not happy with it. See, the other thing is, I don't know what it is with that particular lawnmower, but it has no, like, traction in reverse. So if you go to, like, drive into a corner, let's say, and then you want to back out of the corner, a lot of times I'll spin out in reverse. I think it's because the front tires, yes, they're, you know, they're slick tires, they're casters, but that rubber's very grippy. And it's like those front tires have a lot of grip to them. And I feel like that's why they need to like wear out a little bit, you know? Or maybe I should put some like tire shellac, some tire shine on there or something. Shine them up, make them slick, you know? Some grease maybe. I don't know. Trent, what's up?
No, not too much. How's that stuck list?
Hey, you know, you can't park there. Hey, I should. Hindsight's 2020. I thought about this last night while I was watching fireworks. I should have like added. I should have added Duggo, and asked him if he had a Yankum rope I could borrow.
Actually, what I use to yank mine out when I get stuck.
See, you get stuck too. I'm not the only one. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's been years.
Mine's been hours. What's it to you? Not even 24 hours, I don't think. Well, actually, pretty close. Oh man, it happens, you know. Getting stuck in the road ditch because it's wet when you don't think it's that wet.
A puddle of water.
It happens. The fun part was when I got back to the farm, I put my deck down like extra low because like my caster wheels on the front or my anti-scalp wheels were all full of mud. So I just put the deck down really low and just drove around the farm at full speed to clean the little anti-scalp wheels out. And then the air compressor came out and I had to like, yeah, it took me a minute to, because the top of the deck was all full of mud from trying to, because I tried to get myself out. I tried to rock, you know, back and forth.
And get off and try to move it.
I didn't try to push it. That's like the second biggest lawnmower that Gravely makes. It's like built like a tank. It's way heavy. There's no way I was pushing that thing by myself.
Our 152 sucks to push by itself.
Yeah, and even when the dudes showed up on the motorcycles and they offered to like come help me push it, I was just like, no, because y'all don't understand what lawnmower that is. Like, plus to push it, you're gonna be in the mud. You're not gonna have any traction. You know, you're gonna be just as bad off as the lawnmower at that point. So I was like, no, we're good. I'll just wait for my dad. So yeah, embarrassing, but you know, stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. Let's see, what do we got? We got one more decent field and then all the little. We won't course play the little guys because there's no point. No point in course playing those little fields. On combines ourselves. I'm looking forward to buying some more land on here. When we actually have, you know, money of our own someday. Right now, not so much. Hey, maybe someday, chat. Maybe. You never know. But yeah, it was fun getting stuck in the mud. You betcha.
Oh, so on the Tranquil Water map,
Yeah.
make sure you sell all of the, what do you call it? Compost.
Oh.
You'll make a decent amount of money.
Oh yeah. There is an update for that map too.
Yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I have to restart it or not. Not sure.
If we do restart, it's not that bad, really.
No. We lost out on some missions. Whoopie-doo.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world.
I think I sold 2 loads that night.
Besides,
I think I made about 100.
Besides, if we do restart, and maybe I don't even set up a new save, or set up a save to like get us back where we were, that means we can do that potato contract.
Maybe. I started a map too, and my fields are all different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody in chat said earlier they did the potato one. I can't remember who it was now.
Dave
Dave says no. What?
I don't disagree with Dave. But
No
number 4 was already harvested for me.
Oh, okay. No sense of adventure.
No sense. Suffering, I think.
Adventure, suffering. It's kind of the same thing. Some people.
You're not wrong.
One person's adventure is, you know, suffering to other people, so. Okay. Oh, hey, Dave, didn't see you there. That stealthy tractor you got. Or something. You betcha. Yeah, I hear you. You betcha. And the worst part of last night, I only got to see side-by-side PD one time. Last year, our police department has a side-by-side, and they just were running up and down the street that was in front of us the whole time. Last night, one time, I was kind of sad. And it was during the fireworks. I'm like, trying to watch fireworks. Oh, here comes side-by-side PD. It was sad. Although it was more like chauffeur PD, because there was like one cop driving and then 2 in the back seat of the side-by-side. Like, not another one up front. I think they were taking officers and dropping them around at different intersections to direct traffic after the fireworks. Because it's a little chaotic down there after fireworks, not going to lie. But it's kind of fun. I don't mind crowds as long as I have my own space. So, like, you know, the crowd, the mass of people, everybody leaving, like, we're sitting in the truck, you know, we're safe. We're getting hit by fireworks from Zach and his friends. But, you know, other than that, it was fine.
You have a firework war?
No, he was shooting mortars and, like, the debris was landing on our truck. So, that was fun.
That's not that bad.
No. It was just funny because he called me and he's like, hey, do you see me over here? And I'm like, no, it's dark. And I said, by the way, you're hitting our truck with stuff. And then Dad just goes, you'll hear from my lawyer. Obviously, he was joking.
Yeah.
It was funny. Good time.
No, I think last year when I went up north, basically to the lakes we go to, a guy got really mad about the firework debris.
Okay.
I don't know why. But
Kind of part of the 4th of July, yeah.
yeah, I don't understand it, kind of thing.
Well.
It wasn't like a firework hit his house, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just debris.
Sean, what did you find at a store on Monday? Hard Mountain Dew. You know, I went through the whole 4th of July weekend without a Hard Mountain Dew. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. Baja and Baja Blast 0. Nice, Sean. I did have something else to drink Monday. It wasn't it wasn't Hard Mountain Dew, but it was something. Might have been a little strong, but that's all right. We're having a good time. Oh man, I wish I would have taken it to my sister's house and got, like, you know, sauced up at my sister's. That would have been great.
Family would have loved you.
I mean, whatever. They don't really talk to me when I'm there anyway, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All good. Y'all know what a Blackstone is? Like those griddle things?
Mm-hmm.
My one brother recently got a Blackstone, and it's the brother I don't like. So, you know. Yeah. Or it's the brother I have issues with. And he wanted to argue with me because he's like, all these recipes are, everything's so new and it's so creative. I'm like, it's literally a propane griddle.
Yeah.
It's a thing that gets hot and you cook on it. You're not reinventing the wheel, you know?
They are very nice, though.
He had a little, like, portable Blackstone that you could put, like, on a table. I'm assuming it's for, like, people that camp. But he had that, and he cooked our burgers on it. Our burgers were raw. I'm not talking, like, a little. I'm talking, like
rare.
They were pretty on the rare side. And the funny thing is, like, I wasn't going to be the one to say anything because, you know, everything my brother does, I like to complain about because I have issues with him. Okay, so I'll fully admit I'll complain about a lot of stuff he does to my dad. You know, I'll complain to Dad about him. But, like, we walk in the door, we get back home, and, like, my aunt, my dad, and first time and I, we get back home, and all of a sudden they all instantly just go, how about those burgers? And I was like, oh, what do you mean? They're like, they were raw and cold. And I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah, no. Like a medium burger?
Ugh.
That's fine.
Because, like, when he was cooking them and my other brother, like, carried a tray of them in the house. And he comes in the house and you could just tell by looking at him from across the room. We're like, those are not cooked. And my dad goes, those are cooked already? Because they just put them on the grill, like, when we walked in. And it was just like 2 minutes later and they bring them in and my dad's like, those aren't going to be cooked. And they're like, oh, they're fine. They're fine. And I'm just like, no. They were frozen when they went on the grill and they only cooked for like 2 minutes. They're not done. So, yeah. Surprisingly, none of us had, like, you know, any food poisoning issues that I'm aware of anyway. So I guess they were cooked just enough to not have any issues. But they were not okay. And then, like, the hot dogs, somehow they were burnt on the outside and, like, refrigerator cold on the inside. I don't know how they did that, but somehow they did.
Too high of a heat.
And keep in mind, just so everybody's aware, this brother went to culinary school. He's technically a chef. He got a degree in the culinary arts. Okay. All I got to say about that. Anyway, it was just like, why? Just why? That's all right. And then we came home and played Rust and God Mode, and it was really fun.
It was really fun.
That was awesome.
It
Really
was
fun to watch.
Oh man, that was so much fun. So much fun. A flat top's a terrible vessel for cooking hot dogs. Leonard, anything he touches is a terrible vessel to do anything. So, what's up, Leonard? How are you? You think like a roller grill? That's flat, right? It just has the roller. Or not the roller grill. There's those other ones where like the thing moves.
Like this, I want to say Subway, but it's not Subway, Speedway
Yeah, yeah.
grills.
You think the airdrops are still landing?
I don't know what you mean, Dave.
I wouldn't be surprised, Dave. Is that pile of airdrops still there?
I don't know.
Did they despawn eventually? I assume they despawn, right? Mickey, what's going on? How are you? Oh man, yeah.
I would assume, but I'm not sure. It didn't go.
Dude,
over
I
there
put
last night.
spider webs up in my house in Rust, okay? Oh man. It was fun. It was a good time. You checked last night, okay. That was yep. So chat, I this is not a final thing, but I'm thinking like September. Or like the full wipe of Rust. Reset our tech trees. Actually, it'll be completely reset because I'm hopefully gonna have my server thing up and running by then. I gotta start buying parts one of these days, you know. That's really the holdup. I just need to buy parts. So yeah. In Ohio for 2 weeks. Dang, Mickey. All right. I'm glad you're back home. How'd the training go? Did you learn lots of things? I mean, I hope so. That's the point of training, right? I would hope. That's crazy. That's my PowerPoint. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, so Dad went to Sam's Club like Sunday or something. And he was looking around and he found this lemonade. I don't even know what name is on this lemonade, like brand name or anything. They sell it at Sam's Club and it's like $8 for a 24 pack of these 16-ounce bottles. Like super cheap, right? Which is probably suspicious. But it is really, really good lemonade. Like it kind of tastes like a little bit like the old school Country Time, but it's like 0 calories or 0 sugar. It's all, you know, artificial stuff, full of all the good things for you, you know. But it is delicious. And like you pull one of those out of the fridge or like out of like a cooler full of ice. Oh man. Or put a little moonshine in it. It's really good.
As I say, I heard it was a good mixer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
No. I might have. Last night, or yesterday, Dad goes, here, you want to take one of these in the house? Because he had like the thing in his truck still, like the pack of them. He's like, you want to take one in the house for later? And I was like, do you think I'm going to be drinking 2 nights in a row? And he goes, probably.
I mean,
I was like,
fair enough.
Not a bad idea, but I'm kind of dehydrated right now. I need to drink water. Like, what are you talking about, Pops? Just saying. Yeah. I did not have any alcohol last night, for the record. I didn't get home till almost 11 o'clock from fireworks, and then I kind of sat here for a little bit. I went into Railroads Online because they added the sky and weather update or whatever to the main branch, and I played that for a minute, which was funny because I went up to the coal mine to like look at the track I had built up there, and it was all gone. So apparently last time I was in and built track, it didn't save. Or maybe I did an autosave and didn't do a real save. I don't know. So I had to rebuild all that last night. That was fun. Nature's Twist is the brand. It's very good. Is that what it is from Sam? Is that really? Really? Nature's Twist. It's fantastic. I'm sure it's not good for you at all with all the artificial everything because it contains less than 1% juice. But like, bro, it's good. Just saying, it was awesome. Awesome.
You might want to stop and go back to the field.
Who dat?
Me.
Oh, are you plowing out somewhere else?
Into the trees.
It happens. Yeah, true, Sean, true. We're on Elm Creek today, Mickey. Self-hosted. The other one is, yeah, what's it called? Not self-hosted. That's, what's the map? You know the map. Face in the name. Tranquil Waters. That's the Saturday map, probably, for a while. We'll play this one, like, during the week, and then play that on Saturdays. Because, you know, new Shiny Stevie map we must play. Oh, yes, we must play. It's kind of how it is, you know. But then, yeah, this one is the whole thing. Elm Creek. Betcha, achievement hunting. So, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it was a long weekend, though. I'm glad to be, like... I need to chill out for a little while, you know? It was just a very long 3 days. Very, very long 3 days. What is going on there? What in tarnation? Alabama Betty White, Betty Crocker is this? Why is that guy right? Oh. Guess these are a little too close, maybe? Just causing issues. Huh. Might have to move, Might have to move that guy. Alright. Let's take this combine over and go work on some, smaller fields. Okay. Yeah, it was grumbling about courseplay when I started the map up today, but I didn't actually look at what it said. It just said something about courseplay, and I hit okay, and I was like, whatever. I don't know if there's a new version, or I don't know. I don't know, it said something. I just didn't pay attention to what it said, to be honest with you. 16 and it worked. Huh. Is there a new one on the mod hub? Is that what it is? Did they finally update on courseplay in the mod hub? Yeah, I'm gonna go start this combine over here for Dave.